Buddy, good morning. I'm Vincent Meza. This is Listings to Leads. And today's call is to cover the top ways to get more listings. And I'm glad you're here. I know that listings are more important to all of us since kind of buyer's comp is questionable in some areas. And what's good to know is that we've had tools that are generating listing leads for our clients right now and working in all of the markets. So the key is to learn how to use them. Before we dive into those points, I do want to give you kind of high level. I'm not sure how long you've been with us, but we've been an online advertising company for realtors. We're designed to help you build your brand, help you generate more buyers, generate more listings. We do this through print. We do this through online ads. We do it through social media. We also give you a number of e-flyers. And so if you've got a big database of people that you're dripping on, you want to use all those things. You want to use print, you want to use ads, you want to use e-flyers. There's some tools that can go out for free on social media and will generate leads as well. But I'm going to show you where the biggest ones are, where the most effective ones are. And also we'll talk a little bit about quality too, because some leads are higher quality than others. So we'll cover that too. I do want to point out that you do need to get your arms around our system. And I think this page here, leadgenwebinars.com, is a good place to start. Now we're on a live call today. So I'm going to send this to everybody just in case. I don't know how you got here, but this link I just sent to everyone. It's leadgenwebinars.com. And I cover three calls here. Scott does some other training calls. They're on the dashboard. They're inside the training page. But I do top tools for more listings, which is what we're doing today, Facebook and Google ads, and then get started. Okay. So I'm actually I told everybody before the call, I want you to download the two outlines for these, but I'll show you these in a second. Every class that we do, we record. And this is another I think it's the most important resource for everybody. I'm going to send this to everyone right now. It is our videos page on our YouTube channel, right? So if you get to our YouTube channel, you can go to the homepage and you'll see testimonials and see other stuff. But this is where every call that we do as a training class, it is. They're all here. And I want to point out to you what I think everybody should watch. They should all watch Get Started, right? Scott's going into kind of deeper singular aspects. And so you'll see things like expired listings or geofarming or database mastery or social media mastery. These are specific kind of topics that we cover or that we can take care of. But I go through 4 classes, right? Get Started, Facebook and Google, and top tools for more listings, which is where we are right now. So I do want to point out, and I think this is a good one, and hopefully today we'll make sure we're thorough there, but this one says farm, print, email, and ads. And I definitely want to make sure when we're talking about listings that you think of it in a way as a farm. Some of you might have multiple farms you're working on, and developing this model to work on one and then expanding that to others is going to be helpful. And that call there is pretty good, but we'll get into it, cover it again today. I do recommend to everybody that you do watch one Get Started call and you do watch one Facebook and Google ads call. Those things, Facebook and Google, is pretty straightforward. We'll be talking a little bit about that today. But I do recommend that you watch a couple top tools for more listings. And that's because in these calls, while I sound like a robot, I'm actually a live person and I go down one rabbit hole or another. So I'll focus on what part of the platform. And on another call, I'll focus on another part of the platform. But I do cover, I'd say 75% of the call is the same. Another great resource for you is the mastermind group. And this is a private group in Facebook. You can't see it unless you're in it. So the way to get in is you go to our YouTube channel. No, I'm sorry. You go into your Listings to Leads account and you ask support team, hey, can you get me in the mastermind group? And they'll send you a link and you get in. And I'm going to come back here and show you a few things that are related to this particular call, which is how to get more listings. And we'll come back here and check this out. Now, inside the GoToMeeting panel is a section that says handouts. And I really want everybody to open that section and download the 2 handouts and print them. All right. There's one that says Facebook and Google ads, and there's another that says top tools for more listings. Right. So we're going to go through this one here, the top tools, and I'm going to talk about the Facebook and Google one right now. When we do our Facebook class, Facebook and Google ads class, I want to just let you know, there are a lot of great ways to get buyers and seller leads from Facebook. Really good ways. And the thing about Facebook though, it's that it's not the highest intent kind of website. And so the leads are not super awesome, but they are awesome enough that our clients are getting business out of this, right? And because of our software, we're getting name, email, and phone number on these leads. And you want to grow your business, you need to talk to more people, right? That's just simply stated. If you're talking to 10 people a month or 20 people a month, you want to be talking to 50 or 100 a month, right? Some brand new people, some older people that you're working on, right? You need name, phone number, and email to do that. And our Facebook ads are awesome at getting that. And that's if you want to run early ads and early stage ads and get buyers. Sure. You want to run later stage ads like pending or sold or under contract, you're going to get seller leads. And then you can also run ads like on PDF guides and what is your home worth landing pages. So we're going to look at all that. But that's what the Facebook and Google thing is. And I will also point out that the Google ads those leads are more expensive and they are higher quality. So we'll tackle that in a little bit. But I think you should print this because you can highlight what it is that you want to be focused on to get more listing. Now, the other page that I want you to download is called Top Tools for More Listings, just like this class. And I want to read through these real quick so that we just right up front know what we got to be talking about. We got to mail out nearby homeowner letters to local homeowners. So if you have a home for sale, or if you're borrowing a home in a neighborhood that you want to develop yourself, once you put the listing in, whether it's yours or borrowed, we generate a nearby homeowner letter. You got to get it out to local homeowners, ideally with equity. Okay. Then it says run Facebook ads on pending, under contract, and sold ads, which I mentioned on the other page. And I'm going to show you how to do that. You want to create a property valuation page for each farm area. And we'll go look at how you do that today as well. And then run ads with those home value pages after you've created it, number 3, on both Facebook and Google. Okay. You can also run ads on Facebook and Google for seller PDF guides. And there are 40 that you're branded on every page, 40 for homeowners. There's another 40 for home buyers, but that's not what this class is about. And then there are other ways to market the PDF guides. We've got QR codes, we have print flyers, we have e-flyers, and you can even share landing pages. We create a landing page. You just share them to your social media accounts for free. And also you can do a print door hanger or whatever, postcard. And that's a good way of getting these 40 PDF guides out. There's also a home sold report. So the home sold report is actually in the advanced options of the home valuation page. So really, when you think of any of our tools, you want to think of it like, oh, there's an open house. How can I get to market? Ads, print, e-flyers, right? Oh, there's a PDF guide. How can I get to market? Ads, print, e-flyers. And the same is true. That home sold report is a flyer, both designed for print and for emails. Hey, wait a second here, guys. Yeah, you're seeing my screen. Sorry, I'm just looking at something and it looks weird. It says that my screen is paused. Am I just yammering here in space? Sorry. So I was asking you to download this guide. It is in the, what do you call it? In the questions area, or no, it's in the handouts area. Please download this. There's also just sold postcards, and just sold postcards. I'm going to show you where all these things are. Okay. But I just want you to know right up front, these are the things that are going to get you more listings. There's also an e-flyer. And then there are tools for the seller, right? And these are tools for sellers, email and for social media like Facebook. I definitely recommend using it, giving it to your client, asking them to share it on Facebook. And then the last one right here is actually, it says advanced and it says upload homeowner custom audience to Facebook for better targeting. And this is actually, I think right now, should be number one on the list, not the last. And that's because before, when I created this flyer, listings were important, but not as important as they are today. And so if you're going to stay in this business and be competitive and get listings, you're going to have to do what was advanced before. And so we're going to start talking about what is that, right? What is that custom audience? There are a lot of companies out in the market that our clients have been using to buy lists, third-party companies, buy lists of people with equity. Okay. And that's what you want. And so you want to think of one area that is your core area. And when I say area, I don't mean a county, and I don't mean Hudson Valley, or big areas, a town, a city, maybe even a neighborhood. And our clients have been using companies like Remind.com, Redx.com, Coal Information /Resource, even Vulcan. But last week I was chatting with a lady, and she was telling me she had used all those companies, and she found this company, and she said, this is the best. And she said, to get a list of homeowners with equity, with name, email, and phone number and address, was costing her about $70 for, I think, anywhere from 1 to 5,000 people. Okay. Here's what you want to make sure you're doing, and I'll tell you why in a moment. You want to have a list of 1,000 people deep. Okay. Minimum. I have clients with, like in Dallas, we have a team, they have 30,000 names. They created 10 lists of 10,000 people each. These are people with more than 5 years equity. You want to build those out, and I'm going to show you how to use them. Okay. So I found Arch Agent. I'm actually going to give them a call this week and find out more in detail what they're doing and what their cost is and how they can help you, our clients. So we'll figure it out. So I'll know a little bit more by the end of the week. So that's some high level stuff. Please print out these 2 flyers, put them on your desk, because these are your cheat sheets. All right. They're going to help you get the most out of the system, especially if you need listing. So I'm going to log into my account, and you want to make sure that you've gone through the startup wizard. The startup wizard, when you log in, it asks for your picture, your logo, your colors, and it asks you to connect to your social media so that we can do automatic posting for your listings. We can post those PDF guides I was talking about automatically. And we can also connect your ad software so you can run all the ads that we're talking about, right? So when you log in, after you finish that wizard, you're going to be dropped on the dashboard, and you want to click right here, generate seller leads. That's what we're after on today's call, right? And the cool thing about this page, Scott and I have been working on this all summer, and we still have a few more T's to cross and I's to dot to make this better. But I think it's really pretty solid right now. So I want to make sure you see what's going on here. When you click generate seller leads, you can run ads. Ads is number one on this list for a listing, for a landing page, what is your homework, or any of the 40 PDF guides. If you click on create a Google ad, you want to focus on creating a landing page ad. Again, what is your homework, and any of the 40 PDF guides. I definitely don't recommend using Google to find buyer leads. That's not what this call is about, but just so we're all up front with each other. The number one way to get buyer leads with name, email, and phone number is running ads with active listings on Facebook. Okay. But if you run ads on homes that are under contract or pending or sold, you're going to get leads, seller leads, because whenever it's a later stage, we say, hey, that's going to close. That's going to affect your home value, get you a free home value. So running later stage ads on Facebook is a really fast and efficient way of getting seller leads with name, email, and phone number. There are other ways to get leads for homeowners. Some are higher quality, but getting it with name, email, and phone number with very little work, it's really Facebook. Okay. So then we go down, we scroll down, we're going to dive in that stuff. I'm just giving you the high level. Then we go here to this section, which shows you the listings that are later stage. So if you market this outside of Facebook, maybe with print, maybe with eFlyer, maybe you're just sharing it for free, you're not running an ad, all of the call to actions of all the marketing tools for anything that's pending or under contract or sold, they are all designed to get listing leads. Okay. So we've got them teed up right here for you. Now, remember I said we have landing pages. We have landing pages for free home values. We have landing pages for iBuyers, and we have landing pages with a kind of 100-point marketing plan, which is really talking about our marketing system. Doesn't mention listings to leads. It's just saying this is what you're bringing to the table to help people sell homes. So all of those landing pages are designed to capture listing leads for you. So we put them right here, right front and center. If you scroll down, you remember I mentioned there are 40 PDF guides ready for you to market. They're all right here. There's 4 here, but if we click all guides, we'll see all 4. And I'm going to stop that so we don't go over there. I do want to point out one thing that's also on this page, and it's really important that you get and download and print. And that is this listing presentation. It's a PDF guide. It's about 27 pages long. And you'll find that it is very thorough. It's talking about everything that we do when you have a listing, right? It's not mentioning listings to leads. It's saying what you're bringing to the table, how you're going to be marketing and capturing leads on all kinds of platforms and social media and print. And that's why you should be working with them. Now, obviously you're going to bring your own value to the table, but you definitely want to have that printed on your desk as soon as possible so that you can see everything that you've got and that you're able to convey that to people. Okay. So that's the dashboard here. Let's kind of dive into it, right? Remember I said, if we create a Facebook ad on a property that is pending or sold, we leave it on lead ads. We're going to get name, email, and phone number automatically. So how do you do that? You leave it on lead ads, you click create ad, and boom, it writes the ad. It says, this home is sold, can affect your home value. You click here to get your free home value. Very simple. This works. And what's nice is you can really almost nothing you need to do. You can just click publish and that's it. If you want to get a little more, I don't know if creative is the right word, but I definitely recommend adding these sorts of things. Sold in, this isn't happening to everybody, but sold in 10 days. When it's quick, if it's 3 months, you probably don't want to say this, but if it's less than a couple of weeks, you do want to put that. If you got multiple offers, you want to put that in here because you're letting people know that you're talking to people who want to buy. And definitely if you sell above asking, you got to put that in because that is an incentive for people to talk to you to get their home back. I was talking with a lady just a couple of weeks ago and she said, yeah, this home was expired. I called them. I got it back. I got it and relisted it. And then I sold it for $40K above what it had expired for, which honestly was an awesome, statement. And I said, you got to put that in there, right? You got to tell people that you're able to really get top dollar for a home. So here are some things about this. That's the kind of customization I would suggest putting in there. This is a $50 ad for 7 days. Okay. And if you want, you can change a little bit of this image. I'm just going to show you, this is just a little bit about any Facebook ad, but if we click change image, we're going to see that original picture. We can also choose 4 more and you might want to do something like that. Let's see, and click insert. And that creates a carousel ad, and carousel ads outperform single image ads, right? And notice that the swimming pool is way up here up front. You just click over here and drag it down to the last one, right? And that changes the order of the photos. So if you're running ads on Facebook, video ads are the most effective, but if you don't have a video handy, multiple image carousel ads work really well. And you could upload the video right here on that same button. So it's very easy to do that. When the listing is in a particular city, we're mapping that over to the Facebook location. And that's really all you got to do. I think when you're running a sold ad, you could almost just put the data point you did, right? And that would get you a listing lead. Let's go back. You just click publish and that's going to make that happen. If you have questions, just put them in the chat panel and I'll show you or I'll answer them. We also can run ads on PDF guides. And there are 40 of these. If you go to the PDF guide section, you'll see that there are a lot of tools there. We'll go look at that in just a little bit. But there are 40, and they're anything from curb appeal to probate to negotiation tactics, even divorce and real estate. There's all kinds of topics that are relevant to homeowners. Let's see. How to sell a home in a changing market. Okay, that's the one I'm going to do. Create ad. Lead ads means I get names pre-populated from the profile, so I'm leaving it there. Name, email, and phone number. And the ad is written. There's a picture. The thing that you have to do is click the area that you want to do. I'm going to say Orinda. It's a small town by me, and that's what I'm going to do. Now, it's got a 15-mile radius, but it really doesn't say anything about Orinda, so it's not really geographically relevant. I'm just going to click publish, and that's going to work. I want you to understand, remember the last ad was a sold listing? Those leads have a cost. When you run a $50 ad, the lead cost on an ad for a PDF guide is about $10 on average. When you run a sold ad, it's about $7. So if you're running a $50 ad and you're running a sold listing, you're going to get more leads because the leads cost $7. Divide 7 into 50, that's about 7 leads. If you divide 10, which is the cost of this kind of ad or lead, you're going to get 5 because you've got $50 here, right? You can change that to 100. And if you're getting $10 leads, you're going to get 10 leads, right? Works like that. You just click publish and there you go. Now, the last kind of ad that you can run on Facebook is probably the one that most agents want to run. And that is a free home value page. And so our free home value pages are currently called Property Valuation Plus. And I have one for this little town of Orinda, right? Which is where I ran the last one. And I'm going to just type in the zip code of Orinda here, and it's going to grab some data points and let's create the ad. I'm using lead ads, and you can also use traffic ads. So you can send traffic to that page. And I want you to understand the difference because it makes people a little crazy. Not crazy, but it makes realtors like, what's going on? So here we are. And this is, if you're like distracted right now, this is where you want to put your eyes on the screen because this is where things can go south and you can waste a lot of money and time. So this is saying Orinda, 18 homes sold in Orinda. Hi here, blah, blah, blah. Orinda, home, what's your home value? So you would think, hey, I'm going to go type in Orinda and that should work. But here is problem number one. Probably problem number one is agents don't actually create a page for Orinda. They just use our generic get your home worth page. And that doesn't really work that well. It can work, but it doesn't work very well. Problem number two is if you're in a dense area like Orinda, let's go look at that real quick. This could be a problem, right? Because I don't know if you noticed, but Facebook is only allowing you to do Orinda plus 15 miles. Had we been talking 5 years, you could have literally targeted people who live in Orinda by zip code that actually own a home, which would make that ad awesome, right? And that ad was awesome. Now it's less awesome, and I'm going to show you why. I'm showing you why right now. This is a map of Orinda over here. And this little white section is Orinda, California, east of San Francisco, right on the other side of the bay. But let's back out to a 15-mile radius. A 15-mile radius is almost everything that we see in this map right here. Okay, that's 2 miles. So yeah, 15 miles is way out here. What that means, you would know this, but Orinda has 22,000 people. 22,000, that's the population. And they're not all homeowners, but that's who we're targeting with that ad. But that 15-mile radius is going to show this ad to over 1 million people who live around Orinda. And the ad's only speaking to Orinda. So that makes it not very effective. And that's why I was saying earlier, hey, you need to find a company that will get you a list of homeowners with name, email, phone number, and address. And the first reason why is Facebook. When you're running this kind of ad, and if let's just imagine for some agents, they live in a town where they want more listings. They want all their business to be in that town, right? And then maybe 20% of their business in other adjacent towns. Other of you, you work in an area and you're doing business spread evenly across 10 towns. So you have to do this one at a time because there's some steps to building out the farm. But the first step with this one, what you want to do is go find a list of people who have equity in Orinda, in this case, and you want to target them only. You don't want to use Facebook's 15-mile radius because you're going to hit 1 million people that don't live in Orinda, right? So I'm clicking on the ad section now on the left-hand side of the page in the navigation bar to show you where you upload a custom audience. And you'll see here that I have a blue button that says Create Audience. And when I click, that's going to say name your audience. And I could call it Orinda Homeowners. Remember when I said earlier, it's got to be 1,000 leads long? That's a rule set by Facebook. Give you an example of what exactly is. That list has to be 1,000 names long. It has to be in this format. It has to say email, number, first name, last name, just like that. And it's got to be those 4 columns. It doesn't matter what company you buy this list from. It's going to come with way more columns of data than that. So you save it, you're going to use it for other purposes, but for Facebook, you got to have these 4 columns. Now I'm going to show you something else because I know I've spoken to agents and they have a similar kind of situation. So let's talk about an area that's not so big. You see this area here, Release Valley? This is a really sweet, awesome area, right? It's beautiful. It's backed up on this big kind of county park, all green belt and all this and that. All these homes, nothing is under $1 million. So you definitely, if you're in real estate, you would love to build that out. But there's only about, I think, 700 homeowners in there, right? It's a small area. So if you had a list of 700 and you wanted to target that as Release Valley, you got to get 200, 300 more people. And so you might want to say, okay, I'm going to get that list and maybe have some of these adjacent people here. It's not going to be exact, but when I'm targeting, it'll still work. All right. So I'm just covering that. But when you upload that and you import it, it imports it into your Facebook account. So let me tell you this. If you're going to be in real estate for any number of years, you want to do this for all of your farm markets as soon as you can, right? And even if you quit working with us because you're tired of listening to me and Scott, you're still going to have those audiences that you can target with inside of your Facebook account, even without us. So if you had by chance created your own Orinda page, because that was like your key farm market and you've got it available, you could type in the zip code again and you would get the data points with us. But let me show you now how you target, because this is what makes Facebook so awesome. You ignore this location and you turn that little blue button that says retarget current leads or custom audiences, and then you find the audience that you created. I don't have one called Orinda, but you can see. So what it's doing is it tells Facebook, show this ad to the people on that list. And that is how you're going to make Facebook get you high quality listing leads. It's only all that hoops we just jumped through. It's only important when you're doing a home value page. It's not really critical if you're doing a sold page, because you're telling more people around your community that you can sell homes, and there's nothing wrong with that. And if you have one of the PDF guides that are about a general topic, again, not related to that area, that could work for you. But if you wanted to really focus on Orinda as your number one market, you might use that target audience a little more often, right? Let's see here. How often should you redo the custom audience since people move and the list will change? I would probably say every 2 or 3 years. I don't think you're going to you don't need to make yourself crazy doing that every quarter or anything. Now, that's for Facebook ads, that's what you can do. Just so you know, Google Ad software, there is a $30 upcharge just to use our software. But let me tell you something about Google. It's the number one website in the country. Okay. And just like I did on Facebook, I would want to create an ad on Orinda with the same landing page, right? And let's create the ad. And here it's much simpler. We just type in Orinda and it's going to do what it needs to do. There's no 15-mile radius, right? Publish. Now, that's all you have to do for Google. But I want to explain to you the difference of what's going on with Google and Facebook. And this really gets into the question of lead quality. What's the problem here? Facebook is an awesome platform. You may not all like social media, right? Nothing wrong with that. But I can tell you the average adult in the US spends about 40 minutes every day on this website. And they're looking at all the stuff that's in this newsfeed. Okay. Now here, that was a sponsored ad by some kind of clothing company, right? If I keep going down, here's going to be stuff that I follow. Here's going to be my friends, what they did on the weekend. Here's a new restaurant. Oh no, there's a new whatever. Oh, Restoration Hardware is coming. That's the old Nordstrom. But anyway, that's why Facebook is so powerful. It's just got all this nonsense that we want to look at. People are standing in line in Starbucks. They're driving their car. Probably some percentage of you are looking at Facebook right now while I'm talking because I'm that boring. But so when you have an ad and you lob it up here and you say, hey, here's my open house. If I'm interested, oh, okay, yeah, I'm interested in open house. I'm going to click it and you're going to capture my information. That's why Facebook is really awesome. But when people have a question about anything, like where can I get new tires for my car? Where's a good steak? Where can I get a nice martini in San Diego or a hotel or whatever? Or how do I sell my home? It happens right here on Google. They type that in and boom, there's going to be agents and there's going to be websites. So how do you compete on this site? Google is the number one website in the country. 86% of all questions are asked on Google. Okay. So when you're using our tools, we're making this so easy. Now I'm going to click on advanced options, not because you need to, but this is what's going on underneath the hood. We're putting in all the keywords that would be relevant to the tool that you're posting. We're writing all the headlines, this blue section here, these blue headlines, those are headlines. You have to write separate ones. So we do that automatically. And then you have to write separate descriptions. Why would we have to do that? Google wants to rotate those every time somebody's looking at them to triangulate where is the most effective ad. Now, do you want to know all the keywords? Do you know all the keywords that people are using? Probably not, right? You might have a couple in your head, but you need to have a lot. And we actually have online resources to tell us what the keywords are. And every quarter we refresh them, right? So this is a really important place to have as part of your listing strategy is Google. I do want to point out though, that these leads are expensive. You see a $50 a day budget. You may remember that Facebook is $50 a week. Why is that so different, right? That's a 7-day ad. You've got exposure of a $350 spend. The reason why we set that at 50, it's because leads in Dallas, Texas for an ad just like this, if that said location Dallas, and that was like, what is your Dallas home worth? Those leads each cost $30 each. So if I have a $50 a day budget, I'm only going to get one lead a day. Okay. Now it's high intent because somebody went to the website and said, how do I sell my home? And then they saw these words like, oh, that's relevant. I want an answer. So you could change it to $60 if you lived in Dallas, right? And then you'd get 2 leads a day, right? In Western Pennsylvania, leads cost $22 each. Now this is not exact, but I talk to a lot of agents and this is what I hear. In Salt Lake City, about 17. And somebody once told me $10 for a lead. I can't remember where it was, but we set it at 50 because we feel like there are more expensive cities than Dallas. Manhattan, New York, a cup of coffee is probably $8. And God, I saw something like steak was like $49 a pound in the grocery store, which is maddening to me, but that is just what's going on. So we have to put the budget higher for people that work in New York. We just default it there, right? I'll tell you this, if you're in Canada, in Vancouver, the leads in Vancouver, Canada cost $200 to $300 US each for each lead. So it's a pricey place. People go here because they really need an answer. So that's why Google is charging that premium. So let's go back to the dashboard, because we talked a lot about ads, right? And you need to know about ads because, like I said, that's one of the most effective ways of getting things. But I see a question here. How do we find out what Google leads are for in our individual area? Good question, Carol. When you use our software, I did mention that our software to create a Google ad costs $30 a month just to have the software to make it easy. You get a 30-day free trial, meaning you can run ads for 30 days. You'll still have to pay for the ad, but by the end of each ad, you'll know, because there's it tells you cost per lead. So you know how many clicks you're getting there. And then David saying, we got 1.5 million listings in the market with average 260. Better seller leads on Facebook or Google? The answer is better leads on Google. They're higher quality. That's where everybody is going when they have a question. If I want to go see what my nieces and nephews did over the weekend, I could go to Facebook, and maybe your ad is going to hit me and it's going to be relevant. But if I have to sell a home or buy a home, I'm not going to look to Facebook to look for that. You're just happen to lob it in front of me and it's working at that moment. I went to Google to ask a question. And then if you have the answer, that's a higher quality. So that's ads. Let's talk about listings. And I mentioned it earlier, but let's say you have something just listed. And, we're on the wrong one. Sorry. I want to go over here to seller leads. If we click on seller leads, there's market listing. I have a property that's sold. Let's click on market listing on a sold property. And the call to actions are the same if it's pending or sold or under contract or active contingent. Here's the two things. There's a few things I want you to know. One, if it's sold, run an ad on Facebook. We covered that earlier. More important than that is this tool right here, the nearby homeowner list. Okay. Turn this button on so that we're getting sold data from the neighborhood. And these three letters, they look different, but they say the same thing. All right. And you can download it and you can print it and you can send it to your favorite emailer or favorite mailer. But that again gets to the point of why I keep telling you to buy a list of homeowners, not only to put on Facebook, but now you have that same list that have equity, because that was the prerequisite of you buying that list. So what am I looking for here? Oh, here. The nearby homeowner letter, it's not the sexiest thing in the world. It's not meant to be. It's meant to give people the ability to scan something in a few seconds and make a decision. And the decision we want with this letter is for them to go and get their home value. So this says, hey, 13, we sold this home, go check it out. 13's home sold in August. Here's the high. That's going to affect your home value. Go here to get your free home value, right? And that points us to the core home value page. Make sure the picture in the background looks like something that looks like your area, right? You edit that on the landing page site. So the key here is you're mailing it to people with equity. And that's why you're talking to companies like Remind or RedX or this one. I definitely recommend looking at this just to find out. But remember, you've taken that list and you run ads on Facebook targeting those same people. Now you're mailing them a letter that says, hey, I sold a home and I can get your home value right here for free. So you're mailing it to people in that town with equity. And that's key. And that works out really well. Now, let me show you an easy way to do that. We've actually built it in. You see this company here, Express Copy. That's a printing company that we're working with to make it easier for you guys. So if you say, yeah, that's the letter I want to go, if you connect an Express Copy account, that button will say print and mail. And I'm going to click on it and show you what's going to happen. Sorry, it takes a second because there's some kind of software connection to this company. Use this here that says get mailing list, right? And They have their own database. So if you don't want to go buy that list from Arch Agent or Remind or whatever, they have it built in. And you can say, I want you to send that letter in a 1 or 2 mile or more radius. And they will only send it to people who own single family homes for more than 6 years. 100 pieces of mail, they download it, they fold it, and they put it in an envelope and they mail it to these people around that home. Boom. It's really easy. 2 clicks and they're going to take care of it. It costs $185 for 100 pieces of mail. And that's not bad for what you're getting there. I do want to show you though, in the mastermind group, what our clients are doing. And because that relationship that I showed you, Express Copy, that's new for our company. That's new. That's 2 years old. When we've had that nearby homeowner letter for probably 12 years, and our clients have been telling us for as many years, that's their number one way of getting listings. And so Pat here, this is in the mastermind group, and she's saying, hey, everybody, I just sold a home and it's time for me to do my second mailer. She mails out letters in batches of 100, right? 100 just listed, 100 just sold. So this is the letter. It's got the data points, the sold data in it. And she prints out 100. She flips them over. She uses Microsoft Publisher and prints on the back like that. And then she hand folds these things and she handwrites the address, right? Why would anybody go through that effort? And the reason she does, and she's telling us it took her 4 hours of time and while bringing some friends, it costs a little bit less than the other one, but she had 4 homeowners who want to sell their home on the first home, on the first 100. And another, if you read the notes down here, I asked her, she got another 4 people from that want to sell their homes this year. She did this work last fall. So these are 8 people from 1 home and 200 pieces of mail. I don't think you're going to get that kind of results for Express Copy. We've seen these envelopes. They look a little bit like bulk mail, and bulk mail is going to get opened at a lower rate than a handwritten envelope, right? So our clients are taking note of this. And I got to show you something which blew my mind. So she's handwriting that, and that's awesome. And why? Because the ROI is there. Take the time and do it, and the ROI is there. Pat shares that in the group. I talk about it, and there are other agents that have been using this. So I talk about all the agents, but Pat's story is, I think, really relevant. But just last week, one of our clients, and it sounds like a whole bunch of our clients are chatting about this. I'm scrolling through the mastermind group to see if I can show you something that's really important here. This guy has a printer, and he went to Fiverr. I don't know, Fiverr.com. He paid somebody to create a font that looks like a handwritten font. Yeah, this is it right here. So this guy bought a printer that is pretty effective. He bought the font that can be used in this, in whatever, in Microsoft or whatever, and it looks like it's handwritten. So he's saving himself time from what we're doing. I would definitely look for Corey Smallman here if you want to be doing that and trying to do that. Or if you have more time like Pat, write those things out, right? That's good. So that's when you're marketing a listing that's later stage. We also have door hangers and postcards. And on the front is a link to the website for that property. On the back says it's going to affect your home value, and there's a link to the home valuation website. Automatically built in. We have them for every door direct if you like to use them. You can also use Express Copy, or you can use any other printer you want. All right. We also have tools for seller social media. I definitely recommend, we email this to you. I recommend that you open that email, you forward it. The instructions are in the email. And you say, hey, client, if you help somebody sell a home, they're probably going to do anything. They're going to be pretty happy with you. So send this to them and say, hey, please put this on your wall, client. There's actually earlier stage one just listed in Open House. There's a similar message. But this one is saying, hey, we just sold our home and we want to recommend you at your office for doing a great job. And here is your phone number. and your email address in front of all my friends and family and colleagues on Facebook. If you like referrals, you have to use this. It's free. It stays on Facebook forever unless they decide to delete it. And if somebody likes that, they could call you, or they could just click right in here too, just from they're curious. And at some point, this page is going to pop up offering them a free home value. So that's really a free tool that we send you. Make sure and use that. So when you have a sold listing, postcards, the seller social media tool, and the nearby homeowner are definitely the way to go. Let's go back to the dashboard and let's talk about the PDF guides. And the PDF guides, as I mentioned, you can run ads, but you'll see that there's a marketing tool or a marketing button under there. And it's very similar. And all of the landing pages are going to have marketing tools under it as well. But let's go look at, what am I looking at? Generate seller leads so that the filters are all pointing to all the seller tools. And we talked about how to use marketing listing, marketing tools for seller landing pages. But let's look at 12 mistakes to avoid right here, marketing tool. Once you click marketing tools, we tee up everything for you, right? These are the things you can do to market that deal. A Facebook ad, a Google ad. And by the way, there's somebody in the mastermind group just 2 weeks ago said, hey, I ran an ad on that particular report, 12 mistakes to avoid, and got a listing out of it, right? Social media post is free. So you're just sharing it out there. You're not paying for an ad. Doesn't have as much reach as an ad, but it's free and you should do it. There's an e-flyer for your database. And I haven't mentioned this much, but if you are an agent with a CRM with hundreds or thousands of leads, copy this code. Click that button that says copy code. That's the HTML code behind this. And you may not know what HTML code looks like. It's not that pretty. It looks like this. But if you copy it and you take it to your CRM and you paste it in and then you click a button there, it'll look graphic again. And then blast it out on those leads, right? And now people can download this report as long as they give you their information. So it's lead capture via your CRM. We have this kind of tool for the landing pages. We also have this kind of tool for your listings when they're sold. So definitely be using the e-flyers if you have hundreds or thousands of leads, right? And then there are door hangers and postcards for these sorts of things too. I want to go over to the landing page section to tell you about one more thing regarding door hanger. And remember, we got to talk about landing pages right off the bat, that you can create unlimited landing pages for all your farm markets. So if I click the top button, create landing page, and I click on Property Valuation Plus, that's the instant value page. And I just type in the name of my favorite town, right? The town that I want to build at. And I've created a lot of pages here. I have one here for Memphis. When you create a landing page, make sure and put a photograph of something that people are going to recognize, hopefully something that the local people are going to recognize. Okay. Looks like a big tourist spot, but I did it because I'd been to Memphis once. I don't really remember much about it, but except for the music and the good food, I remember that. So if we click on edit, or no, is it marketing tools? I can't remember. I think it might. And it is where you change the background picture. Yeah, this is where we want to go. You can run ads on Facebook. You can run ads on Google. You got an e-flyer for your database, right? You can do that. But one of our clients, and actually one of our most successful clients, he takes this door hanger and he prints out batches of 1,000 at Vistaprint. And if you go check your mail, you might notice that I just got an email that Vistaprint's giving 40% off. But he was saying when you get a batch of 1,000, it's already really cheap. And then he gives stacks of them to his agents and says, walk that neighborhood, not door knock the neighborhood, just walk and hang those. Because on I'll download it, on the actual door hanger, there's a hole in it when you print it. So that's confusing too. There's a QR code. People can just scan and get their free home value. Boom. And guess what? Whenever agents walk the neighborhoods, by the time they get back, the office has seller leads. This could be really effective for you if you're trying to develop an area, a particular farm market, and you're okay with a good walking neighborhood. You might I would highly recommend that, right? Because you're getting people, you don't know if they have equity or not, but you're still building that brand that you want to be building in that neighborhood. And they're going to know if you're helping people sell homes, maybe you can help them buy homes as well, things like that. So I think what I want everybody to remember is the dashboard and clicking generate seller leads is really where you got to be spending some time and using these tools. Don't forget, I asked you at the beginning of the call to print out give me a second here, to print out the two flyers. One is Facebook and Google ads, and the other is Facebook and Google, and one is Top Tools for More Listings, which is the name of this call. Definitely print those and have those ready. Print our listing presentation and spend time on this Generate Seller Leads tab on the dashboard. Okay. And I did say this at the beginning of the class, but I definitely want to repeat it. If you go here and watch a few calls called Top Tools for More Listings, it'll really be very simple for you to do this, right? So spend a little time in investing there, investing in how to use our system there. Are there any other questions? Because I don't really have much more to say. I'm going to show you a couple of things here in the mastermind group, and they're definitely worth looking at if you want more listings. So I had mentioned Pat Motley, the lady who handwrites the envelopes. This is Chris Winstead, and Chris is the guy that actually told me, I did a training for his office. He's the guy who's printing at Vistaprints. And I learned about Chris in August of 2020. That was the first summer of COVID. He and his family and children moved to San Antonio, Texas. He joined a Keller Williams office there, bought a home in a nice neighborhood, and decides, I want to own this neighborhood. So what does he do? He starts borrowing listings from his office and mails out the nearby homeowner letter every 2 weeks. And he got 5 listings in 3 months, right? And I want to point this out because this guy, he actually, you should look up Chris Winstead. You should look at this post. What's the problem there? In here, he says, I mailed. We asked him, like, how did you do this? Sorry, give me a second. I'm trying to get to this post. How did you do that? And he said, I bought a list from Remine and I mailed that letter, the nearby homeowner letter, every 2 weeks to people with more than 5 years equity, right? And once they opt in on the home valuation link, I hit them up every week with phone calls, bomb messages, letters left at the door, and letters via mail, right? So he's just on, right? And he's using the nearby homeowner letter with a list from Remine. You can use Remine or however you want to do that. But I think by the end of that year or the following year, he became the top listing agent, one of the top listing agents in that office. And then after that, he's just, oh, you know what? I'm going to just start my own office. And he did. And the very first thing he did is he starts a YouTube channel for recruiting and says, here's how I customize listings to leads to get more listings, right? This guy just keeps growing. And I think that's a good way to end the call. Our clients have been getting listings for years. So hopefully this will help you and you understand. Thank you, Paul. I hope this helps everyone. Are there any questions about anything I've been saying? If you need another kind of, what do you call it? Kind of feedback thing. Dustin Fox, look up Dustin Fox in the mastermind group. This guy right here, February 1st of this year, 2024, he asked us, hey, I wrote a book on marketing for real estate. Can I mention it in the mastermind group? And we were like, he said, actually, there's a whole section about you, of what you did and how you helped. Might be worth checking out what Dustin's doing. I'm sure it is. I want to tell you how we met Dustin. I sell the team accounts and brokerage accounts and partnerships across the country. So I set up all the offices. And when I do that, I don't talk to every agent. I certainly do training calls for them. And when I closed that company, which is probably 2016, Dustin was a rookie. He was 2 years in the business. And that office had 300 agents. And the first thing he says is, hey, I'm using the Nearby Homeowner Letter. I'm mailing it out in Maryland. I got 10 listings mailing first class to, I think, 250 homes, right? That's awesome. And he keeps working our system. Now this office is 1,200 agents and he's number 4 of 1,200. So he really understands our system. He's got a team now and he tells us he's still doing great, right? So I just want to recommend maybe reading because there's 205 comments. You can learn a lot by what agents are asking and what might help you. Carol, thanks. I'm glad this helped you. Everybody, thanks for joining me today. We're hitting the hour. I know everybody's busy. Have a great week. This call is being recorded. You're welcome, Marcelo. It will be on our YouTube channel. Get on our YouTube channel and follow Top Tools for more listings. And you're welcome, Rick. Have a great week, everybody. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye. Oh, don't forget to ask the mastermind, to ask the support team to get you in the mastermind group. Okay. They're right down there. They're very fast, very responsive. And check out those names that I just mentioned. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.